What's up? Hey, we are Batuk, and you're watching
Urban Lifestyle.
Drink, turning me up, filling me, killing me, fuel to the flame. I like to party, call me naughty, naughty. I like to party, call me naughty, naughty. Ooh, I like to party, call me naughty, naughty. I like to party, call me naughty, naughty. Fazer, fazer, fazer. Quando drogas ficas feia, fazer.
What I've picked up, you know what I mean, in terms of your guys' sound. You guys are like electronic house type of sound, you know what I mean? What made you guys go for that sound? As well, with you, Spook, having to transition from Spook Matama to the Batuk, how's that been for you, you know what I mean?
The guilt in his eyes says it all. He's lost control. And he's clinging to the nearest skirt in sight. In fear, he's lost control. And he's telling Manga business while he's lost control again.
I'd say
Go ahead.
for me, I'm always I love music. I love music, so I work in many different fields of music, from Maskandi to house stuff to hip hop stuff to really acousticy stuff. And we both enjoy Batuk as a vehicle to make songs, you know, and not worry about genre. I think ideas of genre is quite ideas of genre is quite an old, limited idea. We want to service the song and service the stories sometimes, or the feeling, or the message.
It's feel-good music, you know. So many people ask, what's the genre? And I just think, yeah, we have acoustic sounds. In our latest album, Kasi Royalty, we have very acoustic, like soft, gentle sounds, hard dance house sounds, and whatever feels right, you know?
So basically, we won't call it any genre, it's just feel-good music.
Yeah.
Or Batuk music. Yeah.
Batuk music. There we go.
Yeah. We let, like, that's where it comes from. We let the drum lead the idea and the aesthetic. And that's what I saw from traveling to different African countries. Despite difference in language and culture, when I get on the decks, different people relate just because of rhythm, you know?
Yeah.
So that's more the focus.
La banda multicultural El Top actuó en Sallent de Gallego y repitió el gran éxito cosechado el año pasado en el festival, pero sin duda la gran revolución de la noche fue Batuk, electrónica, jazz y hip hop. Tocaron los temas de su nuevo álbum, una oda a sus raíces y sonidos sudafricanos.
Por que não quis ficar comigo, Daniel? Estás a esconder, estás fugindo, Daniel. Olha lá, olha para mim, Daniel.
How is the reception like outside South Africa for you guys right now? Like, I mean, you guys are traveling galore, you know what I mean? And do you guys feel some type of way that you guys are not receiving or not? I wouldn't say recognized, because you guys are, I would say you guys are recognized, especially you as a Spook Matamba when you start as a brand, you know what I mean? So is there some kind of difficulty that you guys are facing in terms of bringing in a crowd and for you guys here in South Africa? Because internationally, I mean, they worldwide. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's just about that. I think everyone wants things to be really instant. And relatively, we're a new group. The group's been going for 2 years, 3 years. And we've released 2 albums. But in that, from Uganda to China to Australia to France, it's not like we're huge in those countries, but we've had promoters who love our sound invite us over, and we've had crowds who love our sound, you know, rock with us. In South Africa, we've played shows and it's been good reception in the same way. So I wouldn't necessarily create like that direct.
But what's great,
division.
what's really nice in some countries in Europe, like France specifically, you know, the people sing with me. And that's what's so great when they really, when they know your songs and they're locked in or whatever. But something.
I think people also sometimes we take things at home for granted. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like something
open
like
to something that's that's outside of
Sure.
home. And so are they, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this group from South Africa, and that's why we could tour the world.
If you think about something like Ladysmith Black Mambazo being the group that we've all heard a little bit of, but nobody really owns their albums, but they're the ones who've won all the Grammys.
Grammys.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
we take a lot of stuff for granted. And
Yeah.
for us, we hear, and I think people recognize that, but maybe, I don't know.
But all our shows that we've performed at here in South Africa have been really great, you know.
In terms of
people are
people coming.
excited. People who have never heard of us before, you know, they get with it. They're not like trying to leave halfway.
Yeah.
They stay, and it's cool.
I was quite hacked that I missed your guys' album launch.
This is the man with the plan, the man with the merch. We got the new album. This is what we launching, Kasi Royalty, booyah. We got the old school, the first album.
2 years in the making. You guys been working on the Gussie Royalty. That's
Yes,
it. What's behind? Now tell me the name behind the whole Gussie. What made you guys decide on that name? What made you guys decide on Gussie Royalty?
We are Gussie kids. I grew up in Rega Park in the East Rand.
Yeah.
And
Yo, like Gussie.
you don't know that?
Hola, excited.
He doesn't know that. And Spook Matambo grew up in Soweto.
Sure.
And so this album was a celebration of our Kasi roots and the music that we grew up listening to growing up, and the different genres that we grew up listening to. You know, I was actually speaking to him the other day saying that, wow, you were exposed to so much music, from your dad's jazz to, you know, your like cousins Kwaito, to your brother's hip hop, to, you know, whatever. We were exposed to so many different genres, and this is just a celebration of what the great sounds and the greatness that comes out of the Kasi. You know, so many people, when they say, oh, you know, you come from the township, I mean, even outside of South Africa, they say, oh, you know, you come from the township, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, but it's such an honor, and it was such a privilege growing up in a community where, you know, everybody knows one another, everybody cares for one another, and you know, despite the violence that it comes with, you know, that I had the safest childhood. And so this is just a celebration of the royalty of the Kasi.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
For me, it was like an answer to the first album. The first album being to link different African countries, and this album being, I mean, on that first album with Carla speaking Portuguese, people didn't even know that she's from Rega Park.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That she's fluent in Afrikaans, and she grew up with the South African township experience. But as a beat maker, I wanted to explore around the world, we're famous for our beats, you know? And we take it for granted at home, but we're really famous for our rhythms and our beats, and I wanted to explore that just as a beat maker.
As well as a beat maker, how do you know, now bring in like Kara's creativity and make you the synergy, you know, within producing a track? You know what I mean? What's the process for you in terms of creating that and making sure that we're creating this Batuk feel-good music?
I mean, really, Spook Matambo is the mastermind, you know. He is a master producer, and for me, it's very much a case of, you know, he produces, he makes the music, and I listen, and then I can write to it. That's very often the process. He'll write, or he'll be inspired by something, or we'll have a conversation, and we'll talk about, you know, water or life aquatic, and he'll go and he'll make something, you know, extraordinary, and then I'll write to it. So the process for me is really just to kind of, and it's also a learning experience for me, you know. I've been in the music industry for such a short time, and he's been in it for so long, you know. He's a legend, and
no doubt,
it's for me to, that's the creative process.
Like, you prefer writing to beats?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, if I just have to write, it's just it's so broad. I can write plays because I know there's a certain story that I want.
Sure.
But a song has certain structures, and we can break the structures, but still there is a structure, there's a form, and I feel if the music is there, then I can kind of, there's more of a
You
way
want to
that I can-
explore in the producing side and learn how to create your own beats and...
I sometimes when Spook My Time was creating, I'll be like, oh, maybe there's a dee 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 that can be added or whatever. But I think there's so much skill, like years and years of skill that you have to develop.
Sure.
It's not just something that you can just open. It has to be in you.
But at the same time, she says she used to be a DJ.
Yeah.
So she used to play a lot of house.
Yeah.
And she's actually the house expert, you know. She's the electronic music expert. I've listened to so much like weird other music from a left field side, and only now I'm learning. But it feels natural for me to make house stuff as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I kind of need to play it to her for it to be official.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
For it is, okay.
I think I've just created something, but I need your ear right now. You know?
Oh no, this is a jam. And it reminds me of this. And then she'll reference what I'm making spontaneously to something that's kind of classic in the genre, you know.
No, I'm an
Which is-
old
which is
house
great.
head. I'm an old house head. I grew up listening to house music. It was like my first introduction to music. All my CDs that I've ever bought were house.
But from the time that you were really
But
young.
when I was like, from 5 years old, I was, house music.
Clubbing when you were...
Yeah, I was in clubs at a very young age. Yeah, I was in clubs at a very young age. No, my mom knows.
She knows. Okay,
my mom knows.
okay.
My mom knows. I had really good cousins who took care of me, and I wasn't exposed to like the bad side of it. But I really loved music, and I really loved to dance. And yeah, I was
It's
actually
the Easter egg,
speaking.
so it's like Wild
it's
Water.
I was speaking to. We were in studio with Fresh not so long ago, and I was telling him, hey man, you know that today is the day you released your first Fresh House flavor 20 years ago, and he was like, damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
what?
he's
like 20 years ago. How old were you 20 years ago? Like 8.
Oh,
But I was in it. I was really in it
that's
when it
dope,
came
that's
out. I was
dope.
absorbed by it. So, yeah.